Hello, I'm stuck in Nuneaton in a railway waiting room, which has got an extraordinary echo, and I don't recommend Nuneaton. This is the only waiting room which works, the only one that I could open. The rest, there's a problem with the door, there's a problem with this, there's a problem with that. There's no electricity points here. It's quite extraordinary, and I've got to wait here for an hour because there was a problem. Somebody, I believe, threw themselves on the track in Cambridge, so there was a problem with train services. So tragedy, and I'm very sorry. But there we are, lots of staff talking on the railway station, but nobody doing very much. Anyway, the plan to move parts of the civil service up to Sheffield will only work if people go back into the office full time, and even then its impact on levelling up will be fairly illusory, I would have thought. It will also cost a lot to make what seems to me to be an ideological point when the country is struggling to make ends meet, and this is simply to meet the relocation costs. Why are we doing this? The real benefit in terms of reciting civil service jobs in Sheffield would be the long-term recruitment of civil servants in and around Sheffield. I think that would be good. But sending people from London up to Sheffield, I don't see the point. I think we'd all benefit from a bit of frank, hard-working Yorkshire truth. The Fred Truman approach to civil service might have a word or two back to Rees mogg, but moving 22,000 people out of London to Sheffield by 2030, that's the plan. By 2030 is simply playing chess with people's lives. That said, 12,000 have already gone north, but we would need to create 22,000 jobs in the north to have a real effect. That would be a sea change, and while we're at it, we could move this morning back to Leeds, where it began, I think. Steph's packed lunch, after all, does very well there. Have you been to Leeds? Have you been to the little canal? It's absolutely charming. Now, the Institute of Government agrees with me that moving Whitehall jobs up to Sheffield would have only a very modest benefit. And what we really need is to genuinely decentralise, to genuinely diversify our civil service. And more than that, we need to embrace flexible working rather than challenge it in a Rees moggy way. Manchester, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Cardiff, all of these are target locations for re-establishing the civil service, to relocate the civil service, and that's assuming that Scottish independence is further frustrated. But it's a lot of promise, it seems to me, and scant delivery, and it might lead to further isolation of departments one from another. So I think the idea is good. If this is all the government can do for levelling up, there goes the express. I feel like I'm in the middle of brief encounter. There's not a person offering me scones anywhere to be seen. There we are. Nor have I got a bit of grit in my eye. Have fun.